The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Wave. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Wave is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world.
So we can regain our natural health, our rights, and our freedoms. And I'm Paige Clarke. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, 70 degrees, going up into probably around the mid-80s today. It's just beautiful spring weather here in Florida. It's just come on down. It's the time of year for
Except
really
for the allergies, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are.
You know, and guys, if you have any questions, feel free to contact Nico and I. We love to have input on content that you'd like to hear. You can reach me, Paige at TFNN.com.
And me, Nico at TFNN.com. And we're taking your phone calls, of course, 877-927-6648. You know, if any of you listeners are in the area, you can always contact Paige and I, too, to have a little meetup. Because somebody's coming into town this week, one of our listeners, and he said,
awesome.
Hey, you want to have a workout, maybe, and have lunch together, or whatever we can fit in. We will do that for the people who listen to us. We like that. We like to meet people.
That's right. We sure do.
Yeah.
We sure do.
So, allergy season, we're having a lot of problems here in Florida. Bronchitis is going around. This brings up the histamine thing. My nose is always running in the springtime here in Florida. I take Benadryl now and then just to kind of ease it up a little bit. But
it's kind of funny how different seasons and different years you seem to be more susceptible to your allergies. And I say it's a direct relation to how is your immune system handling it. Remember, allergies are just a reaction from your immune system.
Yeah.
So therefore, perhaps you already started the year out maybe a little more stressed.
That's possible.
So these allergens maybe perhaps create a little bigger response than what you're used to. But healthy foods that may be making your allergies or inflammation worse, something we want to talk about, because even healthy foods may not be the right food for you. And we want to, kind of hit some key points. Whether it's seasonal or not, what we know is our ancient ancestors didn't eat the same foods over and over again. And this really spikes right on the mark with what we talk about all the time, Nico.
That is one of the biggest problems we have, because we always talk about eating seasonally, and it's very difficult to eat seasonally. Sometimes it's difficult to even know what's in season, except for the trees and the flowers that are around us. But as far as food is concerned, it seems like we don't have a really direct connect there. If somebody asks me, what foods today are seasonal right now, then I'm thinking, okay, springtime, there's not a lot of fruits and vegetables around. Well, fruit, that's stuff that's around here would be citrus. Mm-hmm. But citrus, it conflicts me.
Citrus's season is actually in the fall. Really, it's November, December when the citrus, the trees bloom right now. But they produce their fruit in the fall. Okay. Think about it. We always think of this time of year as that smell of orange blossom. But the fruit itself comes off as soon as we get that cold snap.
Yeah, and the problem I have with citrus, first of all, is that it's not indigenous to us here, or even California.
It's so hard. When you live in Florida, it's so hard to buy that, because it's become something that
But we also have that with other foods. We have foods like tomatoes and potatoes that are really, were in one area of the world. Yeah. Potatoes, that was the Andes Mountains. Not even anything to do, but when we discovered those things, when the Europeans came over there, they said, oh, great food. And of course, it saved many lives in Ireland with the famine there. And so, it's conflicting to me, because which way do you go?
So really, the truth is, what you're saying is how it's very difficult to really know what is seasonal. But I'm telling you, the more you can follow a seasonal diet, the more your body adapts, because we have an innate intelligence. But let's back up just a little bit, because some people might want to know, really, what are we talking about? It is the compound histamine that is kind of responsible for these seasonal allergy experiences that many of us, unfortunately, might be going through right now. And it's like a compound that causes a overreactive response in the immune system.
So your nose starts running, you might be coughing, your eyes might be watering, all those things.
Yeah, histamine's role in your body is to cause an immediate inflammatory response, usually in response to an unknown or foreign object, a potential threat, But with allergies, the immune system, and hence the histamine, overreacts to the benign foreign chemical. So, many times if you're seeing, it can contribute to a wide range of symptoms, folks. This can be the eczema that you're seeing, the joint swelling, stiffness, joint pain, edema, even impaired breathing, congestion, bloating, gas, and even hypertension can be a result of histamine.
And there's a lot of foods that are high, they call high histamine level foods.
Yeah, just because a food is healthy or even organic doesn't mean it's right for your body, folks, and that's it, or should be eaten all year long.
Yeah, some of the common high histamine foods or histamine-inducing foods include avocados, eggplants, spinach, tomatoes, bacon, dried or citrus fruits. Boy, these are all the things I'm eating. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people are eating avocados as a healthier fat, but again, we have to be careful that we're not eating them all the time and we're not eating them in excess. The body likes to feel that maybe food was scarce. That's how we reset our metabolism. So if you're eating the same thing over and over again, what does that tell you? What does that tell your primal brain? Food is plenty.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to shake that up a little bit. And I think the more we can think like our like our primal ancestors might have, I think our bodies are going to perform and we're going to get more to an ideal weight.
Now, one of the confusing things to me was when I started reading this allergy, they had a list here of high histamine level foods and then histamine liberators or releasers.
Well, what I think
are those
that's really
both
going to...
things are the same?
I think, no, well, it's a little confusing to me, so I'm going to admit that right now, but what I think they're saying is that the histamine liberators are foods that really create an immediate response. Of liberating the histamine in your body already.
Okay.
Whereas the other foods are just high in histamine themselves.
Okay.
So these other foods, citrus fruits, chocolate, nuts, papaya, tomatoes, and wheat germ, and a lot of additives can actually create a histamine. Your body's
Here's
already
one
kind of
here
reacting
that says
allergic.
ready meals, which, that means if you're getting some meals already packaged for you, even if they're maybe paleo packaged.
Well, that's kind of an interesting comment because we've talked a little bit about leukocytosis, and that is the response of the white blood cells to
Invade.
to put up, to swell up foreign invaders, and we see leftovers and highly cooked foods produce a leukocytosis response in the body.
That makes
so
sense.
I'm not a big fan of
Leftovers.
Yeah.
I think leftovers and vegetables and things are great, but in the meat, that's more questionable
not so
because I think
much.
it starts breaking down. Because I think the vegetables, even if they're cooked, they could be having those vitamins locked in there, those minerals that we always talk about.
I agree.
So I think that's.
So, folks, a lot of your allergy symptoms that you may be experiencing right now may or may not be from the environment. So take a look at some of the foods. Maybe take a look at the FODMAP listing of foods. These are foods that create these histamine responses, and clean up your act a little bit.
Yeah, and take a look at the foods
better.
and see, are you eating these foods every single week, every single day? And that could be causing the histamine release too.
So
we'll
we're
talk
gonna take a
little
short
more
break.
about it. Yeah. The number here is 877-927-6648. Page and I'll be right back. Boy, oh boy. But histamine is up. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A share bull and bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and we're going to continue with Nico to Haan, going down this rabbit hole we've been talking about how our food may actually be causing an inflammation in our body. But this is a fascinating article Nico and I found that says new research discovers that depression is an allergic reaction to inflammation. And researchers are putting a lot of effort in this area.
Yeah, there's new research which shows that many cases of depression are actually caused by an allergic reaction to inflammation. If you're gluten sensitive, that would be one way, I would think. This was an article from PBS by Tim DeCant. He might be a Dutch guy.
How about that? Yeah, sure, he probably
could
is.
Be maybe French. Inflammation in our immune system, natural response to injuries, infections, and foreign compounds. When triggered, the body pumps various cells and proteins to the site through the bloodstream, including cytokines. Cytokines, okay? A class of proteins that facilitates intercellular communication. It also happens that people who suffer from depression are loaded with these cytokines.
And the cytokine, we often hear a cytokine storm, really means an inflammatory response. So see someone who's showing signs of inflammation, and you can do blood tests and see that they oftentimes have very elevated cytokines. You know, researchers are now want to treat the inflammatory symptoms of depression rather than the neurological ones. That might be a smarter choice, and one of the best ways that we can treat the inflammatory symptoms is to start taking a look at what is causing us to be inflamed.
And we just talked about in the last segment that we have now lots of different foods, including some health foods that do cause an histamine reaction, which is the inflammatory, and there you go. Then it could lead to depression from that.
So anybody who's eaten gluten and experienced depression, can attest to this. Many people notice that they have brain fog and depression after having accidentally eating a pizza or something, But, what about the food, folks? Maybe that's what we'll see our doctors do. Hopefully our doctors will start paying attention to food more. There's also evidence which suggests that omega-3s and curcumin, which is turmeric, an extract from turmeric, might have similar effects. It would seem to me that understanding inflammation to be causal in depression would send doctors towards food education. But baby steps, we guess. Rome wasn't built in a day, as the article says.
There's a talk on TED about this, is depression an infectious disease, by Turan Canley. can't lie, maybe.
So this is a good area, folks. So we're really trying to tie these loose ends together for you. It is all about the food. That's what we've been saying for a long time. It's all about the food, and you're in control of the food. So let's start making
Well,
some...
we're kind of in control of the food.
Well-
If we're the modern American family, we're actually just eating from the American diet, the sad diet.
Yeah, I guess what I'm
and
saying is that
you can have control of it.
you can have control of your food. That's actually,
Yeah,
and that's
sort of
really what
better.
we're saying.
But we're also, go flipping the side. If away from food, we also have a lot of things in our modern society that make us depressed. I mean, election time. I mean, we got this thing going. I have customers all the time coming into the shop talking politics, and something I don't like to do. First of all, I'm not even a citizen, so I'm not going to be voting. That liberates me right there. I feel good about that. Now I can at least have a conversation maybe that's a little bit better because I don't have that yoke upon me, kind of.
I have noticed I've got a number of clients that are very politically oriented, and I see a big difference in their stress level in their
it's
plans.
huge. I mean, they come through the door and say, one person is saying, well, Trump, what an idiot, and then Hillary, oh, what a crook, and, then the battle goes on. And, I say, I don't like either of them, so, I mean...
You came in here to work out and try and get de-stressed.
Yeah, and that's,
You gotta
you
clean
try
your
to calm them
atmosphere.
down, so you
Get
got
on
to change.
sage.
Exactly, it's something, but, you put on the TV, that's stress. If you're watching sports, that could be stress. I'm watching the hockey games, It's nice when your team wins. But if your team doesn't win, then the stress, a little bit more stress on top of all the other stuff we have. The political stuff, trying to find good food, our children are leaving the house, or, there's so many things in our society these days that, your job alone. I know my wife is working herself to death. I wish she'd just slow down a little bit, and that's the plan in the next couple of years. But when you're the key person in your industry and you have calls every single day, boy, that's a hard thing to stop. You can't stop because your reputation, everything that you are, depends on those things.
Right,
So
and hopefully Ellen can get to a point where she's training
she
the
will.
trainer so people can take over
and that's
and you
exactly
guys
what
can go
she's
play
doing.
like you want to.
Well, we do, and I'm just singling out my wife only because it's so close to me.
Sure.
And I encourage her every day to de-stress, and we have various ways of doing that, and it's really nice. And I love her dearly. She's the thing that makes me wake up smiling every day. So
And that's
besides
so
you,
sweet.
Paige, of course.
That's right. I'll take second to that. Yeah, and I like seeing that, the way that you treasure your relationship. That's very
It's
beautiful.
huge, and
It is.
if you don't have that, I don't think you have anything.
And, as we talk about this whole situation of inflammation, it is the silent killer. You don't always know that you're inflamed. You can assume that you are not, and you can find out that you actually are. So great inflammatory markers. Next time you're going to see your doctor, make sure your doctor is doing a high sensitivity C-reactive protein. Maybe have them check your cytokine levels. Make sure you're not slowly smoldering, because it is a little bit of a stressor, and I have actually struggled with that myself and determined that it really is related to my food. So when I changed my food, I no longer have those reactions in my body.
Yeah. He said, and this, I like this, it would seem to me that understanding inflammation to be causal in depression would send doctors towards the food education. But baby steps, I hope. Rome wasn't built in a day. But I think we are seeing that. I think the movement, the paleo, primal, ancestral movement, is opening a lot of eyes that these tests are being done now where
Well,
they
we
weren't
would wish
before.
that our doctors would be doing that, but folks, with an 8-minute appointment, your doctor can't be the expert, and since they're never trained in nutrition, it's not a good place to look for nutritional information. I think you're better off doing your own research. Dr. Google, vet it out yourself. Listen to shows like us with people that are studying, and
there's a lot of great shows out there. I mean, that's what I listen to too. Even
and there are a lot of doctors who are taking that extra step. Many
That's
many
exactly
people will
right.
tell you that their education actually begins after their degree programs, and they're brilliant doctors and people that are not medical professionals that can help you with making good food choices. And we certainly hope you can count us as one of those sources to provide you with some food for thought.
I like that. That's true, and there are a lot of brilliant people out there, and they're looking into these things, and that's why we have this show, and we're allowing ourselves to look at different places. Many doctors on the web have, elevated their practice in such a way, like Nora Gagatis and all these people who have put out these Primal books, that they're going beyond what their own education was, and now they're searching, kind of like the electric universe.
Right.
There's a whole movement out there looking at the stars differently, looking at how the Earth was formed differently. And this is what it's all about, as far as I'm concerned. We want to discover, we want something really unique to happen during our lifetime. Well, this is it, folks. It's up to us. We're the ones that we've been waiting for.
I always say that. I love that saying. We are, and you are. You are the one that can make the difference in the health of yourself and your family.
Yep.
And we're not here to say one thing is right or wrong. We're here to explore. And to return to a natural wild world, we have to explore and see what gets us there. And when we come back from this break, are carbohydrates the best fuel for a workout? I think usually not. Maybe so. Let's take a look. We'll be right back.
And please pick up some Primal Edge, our one-step wonder. It's a daily supplement you can take every single day, and it only costs you $89 a month, shipped to your door. Please pick up our Primal Edge, also our Health Signals newsletter. Paige and I'll be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. We've been talking about histamine and how inflammation works, but I want to transition a little bit because we've been talking about incorporating fat into your diet. We've been talking about what's the best fuel for workouts, and we had talked about this endurance program that Mark Sesson was talking about. In
his new book.
Yeah, in his new book, Endurance Training or Primal Endurance, something like that. The thing is that you have to be on a high-fat diet for a long time for your body really to get used to what's going on and to really take all the advantages of it. So this article...
Well, and before we get into that article, let's set the stage here, because what we're saying, folks, is there are a lot of people in the fitness industry that believe you have to have your carbohydrates to not hit a wall when you're training, that you need these carbs to fuel your fire.
This was general knowledge for 30 years in the running craze, in the biking craze, and workout craze, and
if you need carbs for
different.
Fuel, then you are a carbohydrate burner.
Yeah.
Well, let's acknowledge. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a, the point is where are you in the fuel burning? What are you burning? Carbohydrate, crackly, kindling type fuel that burns out and you need it again? Or are you burning a slow burning log, which is your fat? And folks, we don't recommend that you're going to get there overnight, but you will know that you're there when your energy levels change. So I think this article is great because the author kind of goes through his exchange with someone who is a fitness aficionado and believes in that big carb thing. So let's kind of go through this.
Well, also, this was an old post, and he kind of was redoing it because he was kind of leaning towards the fat now.
He has become more of a paleo-ketogenic type of person. So you're going to hear these answers coming back. So this person, posts in, that he wanted to share his pre-workout nutrition, and it's very important that you fuel your fire, fuel your intensity, fuel your workout, and you must start your day with a big breakfast. It's the most important day, and fat loss virtually is impossible without it. And the person responds back.
This is true if you're eating a high carbohydrate diet, over 100 grams a day, because your body will quickly run out of fuel or energy. It's better known as stored carbohydrates, which is glycogen. If you're a carb eater, you usually wake up crunchy,
which is a combination of cranky and hungry.
Yeah.
But however, folks, when you're eating a lower carb diet or the ketogenic diet, which is using fat as an energy source, like many of us have been doing, you don't wake up crunchy. You don't even really think about food in the morning. You wake up with sort of a stable blood sugar feeling, very easy feeling. And, we routinely skip breakfast. We use it as a time of rehydration. Perhaps we might sip on teas or coffees or bone broths. And we find that some people refer to it as fasted cardio or fasted exercise produces a much better result in terms of fat burning. We're not hungry, and the body is fueled by our fat. And it's nice to know that, we're actually using as fuel stuff we want to get rid of.
Well,
I like that idea.
I think the confusing thing for a lot of people is that when you're saying that you're going to eliminate the carbohydrates, then they're thinking they're eating tons of meat, and that's just not the case.
Well, I always had that analogy when we started the show that everyone thinks that a paleo diet is like the Fred Flintstone carrying a big side of beef. Remember that picture of Fred? Paleo diet is not excessive protein. It's moderate protein, and it's well-placed protein, and it's a digestible protein.
Yeah, and it's also kind of self-regulating. I'm going to give you an example here, which sounds kind of strange, but yesterday I didn't have a particularly active day. I came home after I did my clients, so I was home maybe a little afternoon. And I just kind of sat around. I was doing my newsletter. And then around 3 o'clock, I was getting a little hungry. I said, well, I'll have a little beef jerky. So I had a little bit of jerky, just a couple of little strips, and put it back. And then I made pork chops for my wife and I with some vegetables. And I couldn't eat the pork chop. I ate 2 bites, and I had to put it away, for another day. It was strange because it's kind of self-regulating in that way, where protein isn't the big thing, it's the fat. So I ate the fat around that pork chop, but I didn't eat the protein. I had enough of it just by having the couple of strips. So
I want to share this little fat loss tip, folks. I think this is important. What you eat before a workout is one of the most important things you can do during the day for ultimate fat loss. And without a solid pre-workout nutrition regimen, your post-workout meal will be a lot less effective. Well, this is kind of interesting because, as our author says here, the question he gets is the most are what and when to eat this meal. First of all, let's talk about why you need to be eating this meal in the first place. okay? The pre-workout meal ensures that you will have adequate nutrition to make it through your workout. You should concentrate on getting fuel into your body. And the body's best fuel source is carbohydrates. Remember, this is a person who's writing in and arguing the case for carbohydrates. Most importantly, you want to concentrate on complex or fibrous carbs, which are the carbs that give you sustained energy. I agree with that part, if you're going to have some carbs. The pre-workout meal, we're going to come back around, is important if you're a carb eater. I'm sure if you are having and experiencing crashes, either just simply during the day or even during a workout, you're constantly thinking about how you can refuel. When carbs are lowered, you don't rely as much on glycogen. There's still some there, but you rely on fat as your energy. And on a ketogenic diet, the body relies more on something called ketones. And the ketones are your body's #1 fuel source, and our brains love ketones.
Yeah, it's often I go to jiu-jitsu around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock during the day. Normally before I get home and get in my gear, and I have a little whey shake, add a little MCT oil, add a little bit of collagen in there, and that gives me a nice base.
After your workout.
No, before my workout.
Before your workout.
You can do it actually before or after. A lot of times I'll forget before, but when it's after, I don't do it as much because after a workout, I'm not as hungry.
Well, here's a great...
And if you're a carb eater, usually after a workout, you are very hungry. If you're a fat burner, you're not as hungry. And I tend to go through that afternoon not having that little snack that I had yesterday because I didn't have my workout yesterday. So I got more hungry, kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I think this is a key point here. A lot of people that train competitively or whatever, they're saying, oh, you got to get your fuel in. Your brain needs this fuel. And, you know, a lot of us used to say, oh, you've got to have a minimum of 120 grams of carbs to function properly. And this is what we're finding out is not true. The thing is, the brain uses ketones much more efficiently than it can use glucose, and without the brain fog and high blood sugar levels. High blood sugar levels deserve an article in itself, you know. But
well, also you have, the ketones are always there. You have enough fat. Even if you've got 6% body fat, you have enough fat for hours and hours and days and days. So what happens is your body doesn't quit giving you the energy. You're always using it. With carbohydrates, because they're stored in your muscles, once they're gone, they don't get replenished unless you eat. And you don't have another food source because insulin stops you from getting that.
Right. It turns off fat burning. Here's this guy's comment, because I want to finish this about how someone who used to be a carb burner now trains, this fat-burning workout aficionado says, I routinely eat my pre-workout meal 2 to 4 meals before my workout, if I eat. Used to be with a sugar burner, he'd eat every half hour or so. But what you didn't know is that when I was actually storing more fat and raising blood sugar levels and keeping them raised through the day by eating these meals right before. So, folks, the carb before the workout is not necessarily true. As you move towards becoming a fat burner, this will not be the case.
Exactly. We'll be right back, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Nico and Paige here, living a primal lifestyle. More and more research is piling up and making the case that there is no viable link between saturated fats and health concerns. Heart health concerns. Eggs were the focus of a large study recently published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. In this study, they followed more than 1,000 middle-aged men for 20 years. After decades of data were analyzed, they found there was no connection between the consumption of eggs or dietary cholesterol and the risk of heart or arterial health concerns.
And this is good news, folks, because what we want to talk about in this segment is how to navigate the new higher fat diet trends.
Yes.
And become a healthy, happy fat burner. And that's what we want to help people do. So what that research tells us is that the key to all these studies suggests that a high-fat diet is more heart healthy and is tied to a moderate reduction of carbohydrates, mostly refined and processed carbs. And that's what we really is a first step. These are the carbohydrates that we know are not necessary, as are none of them, you know. And the reason for this is that there are two basic fuel supplies for the human body, folks. It's fat and sugar or carbs. And when a diet is rich in both of these sources of fuel, we simply overshoot the fuel or calorie run away and we gain weight. So you can't, and Nico and I have really taught this point, that when we combine the fat along with the carbs, that's where we get in trouble. Yes. And that's where the science of food combining can really come in.
Yeah, the key to all these studies suggesting that a higher fat diet is more heart healthy is tied to a moderate reduction of carbohydrates, and those are mostly refined and processed carbs. So sugar and protein, or sugar and fat together, think of one of those delicious desserts where you have whipped cream with sugar mixed into it, how delicious that is.
It's the dessert. It's a high in fat and high in sugars. Those are where you get in trouble.
You know, bread used to be a dessert?
Yeah. Well, I think of it, it really is.
It really is a dessert.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Especially if you put a little butter on it. Then you got the high carb, what we're talking about, with some butter on it, then you're in trouble right away. Not bad if you have just had a full meal.
So just to further this a little bit, you know, folks, we want to make sure you're getting the picture here. We don't say to sit down all the time, and it's about ratios, you know. In one study, when a group of people lowered their carbs and then later their fat intake, the lower fat intake diet actually delivered greater weight loss. So please be careful as more and more diets tout the benefits of higher and higher amounts of good fats in the diet. There is still a risk of the fuel or calories ingesting, you know, causing weight gain problems. Any extra fuel, be them good or bad carbs, will be stored as fat. Let me say that again. Any extra fuel, that's why we have to figure out, you know, what is the right amount of food for us. So we are in agreement here in switching over our preferred fuel supply to fats and less carbs, but it doesn't work using sheer willpower. And, you know, we have to learn to be a good user of the fuel. You know, if you all of a sudden decide you want to change the fuel in your car and you don't make the necessary mechanical changes, you're not going to run very well, are
Well, in
you?
other words, you go to the drag strip and you're using that nitro, that little can of nitro that is
Right.
tied to your carburetor. You go up the drag strip, and now you want to go home, and you're out of the fuel, and you don't switch over to the gasoline. You're stuck.
Yeah, so let's go through some steps
Okay.
that will help you become
And this is
a
only
better,
3 steps.
Yeah, better fat burner. Very simple. Step 1, avoid sugar. The first step is to rid yourself of added sugars. Read the labels of everything you eat, and preferably eat things that have no labels. That sounds good.
Also, make sure your sweet treat has less than 6 grams of sugar per servings. And a good way to do that is have a couple of pieces of small chocolate.
Yeah, like put that dark chocolate. So you're getting those benefits of those polyphenols, but you're not going to eat the whole thing. Eat little squares. Number 2, avoid the bad fats. Severely limit any processed foods. The major no-no in processed foods are cooked oils. It is the cooked oils that are so damaging to our arteries, folks. And these congest the liver, they congest the heart and the gallbladder and lymph. And this is where a lot of the study that we have at Premier Research, Dr. Marshall's work, is showing that we really need to give ourselves an oil change. We need, many people, even as we're trying to switch to good fats, we almost need to take a 3 to 6 month oil holiday where we really severely limit fats. And I'm going to say that because we have built our cell membranes on really bad damaged fats.
Yeah, and I think especially for people who've been on the sad American diet for a long, long time, if you've been 30 years into that and try to switch over, your gallbladder, your pancreas, everything might be squawking a little bit because they're not used to the fat. Maybe you don't have the ability to break down that fat.
Right.
Because you don't have that acid in there
Well,
anymore.
you don't have the gallbladder function, and that's what we
Correct.
find is that most of us over 40 have been eating bad fats so long, particularly when we eat out in restaurants, because they do use cheap bad fats, that we don't have good liver gallbladder digestion. So if you're eating anything cooked or baked, make sure it is cooked oil-free. This is a good tip, because a lot of people still think it's healthy to coat their foods in oils. Even vegetables, and this is a move I've made. I love butter on vegetables.
Yeah, I do too.
But I think it's better not to cook it in the butter. Steam it, get it cooked. Then as you remove it from the heat, put the pat of butter and let it melt while you're not denaturing
Well,
the healthy fat.
another good thing, and this is what I always do, I always eat the protein first. You get the protein in there, you start the digestive process, and it works completely different. If you eat your salad first, that stuff is kind of stuck there because now you're eating the protein, that's starting to digest.
Well, the
And
French always serve the salad after the main meal.
And
It's
there's
like
a reason
the
for that.
roughage to push stuff through.
That's exactly the way it works.
And third, let's balance our meals, balance our plates. If we balance our plates, we can get, we got a great idea. Take a look at your plate. Here's a great little ratio, and I like this. This is kind of what I follow. 50% of your plate should be green veggies. I could even extend that to colorful veggies,
definitely
some
the
colorful
colorful,
veggies. Another 25% of your plate could be a starchy solution, maybe a root vegetable or a
vegetables.
fruit or something.
And a lot of root vegetables are really, really healthy and healing. This is where a lot of our ancient ancestors always got the healing properties from. I'm not talking about potatoes, but I'm talking about roots and not really so much about a carrot.
Maybe like a beet.
Yeah, some kind of beets
Or carrot.
If you go to Africa and you see these women digging these tree roots down 6 or 8 feet with their hands, there's a reason they're doing that because they know the value of those deep roots. So, we have to change our thinking that, and whole grains is mentioned here. I wouldn't use whole grains, but there's certainly
we
a way
got
to
to
do
work
that.
in stages,
Right.
okay? And there's not everyone that's going to, follow this. So
Right.
if we do, the key here is 25%. It's not your whole plate is filled with pasta,
Right.
and then you put a little meat sauce on top,
Right.
and there's no greens.
Right.
So we want to get a picture of this plate. 50% of your plate greens, 25% a starchy type of veggie or a solution, and 25% of your plate protein. And I think these are some tips from John Douillard. He's a world-renowned Ayurvedic practitioner, and he has some great choices.
He tends more to get away from meat, but the way I normally do it is I take the palm of my hand, and that's the size of the meat that I have, and then about twice as much vegetables, and you're good to go.
But I think what we're seeing here is this is a great way to help people who are trying to get from still being a carb user to a fat burner. Here's another couple tips.
Okay.
Start by adding 1 teaspoon of non-GMO raw coconut oil to or ghee to the diet per day. So 1 teaspoon. Then, you got to make sure the gallbladder can catch up. Increase that to 1 to 3 teaspoons a day. Slowly. You got to get, all of a sudden you go to, like a lot of people that are drinking the bulletproof coffee and they're having a little bit of gallbladder issue because they're not designed to have that fat all at once.
Yeah.
So these healthy fats. And then a bonus step is eat 3 meals a day and do not snack. Hey, maybe even just 2 meals a day like we do, and having your lunch be your big meal and your supper being your smaller meal. But I like these tips. I like these tips to taking you, as we've been talking about today, not constantly feeding and grazing like the carb burners are. Become a clean energy burner. So we got to take a break?
Yep, we'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit tfnn.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Hey, and welcome back. Do those who retire early live longer?
I did this Google search, and these are all the little stories that came up.
Wow.
And most of them say that you live longer when...
We're all about helping people live longer, stronger, and what we're seeing is the research shows that if we delay retirement, we live longer. And that has a lot to do with, I think, feeling valued, feeling like you're contributing, feeling inspired by what you do. And, it's a little bittersweet for me because my grandfather was a grocer.
Okay.
So he had a grocery store, and it was his whole world.
Yep.
It was a small grocery store back when the grocer was there weren't all these chains. And he, retired just like so many people in his early 60s, and he actually got depressed and, actually sort of made a an attempt to take
back?
sleeping pills.
Oh, really?
No, he
Oh.
got so depressed.
Wow.
Then he ended up going back part-time. But this kind of reminds me that maybe this was so much a part of who he was that he felt
I think so.
lost with what to do.
Yeah, I think that the whole idea back in the 60s was that, we work hard. Of course, we're talking about factory workers and people who work in
Yeah.
mines. You work for 30 years in the mines, you deserve to take a break and maybe do something else. I think we're finding out that people who have passion for what they do, if they stop it, that's the end of their life.
And maybe retirement doesn't mean doing that same repetitive job
Right.
or strenuous, stressful job. Maybe it means to not just retire, but to refocus and maybe provide your services in another way that's both, rewarding to you, but also maybe to the world.
I look back into our ancestry and then look at what the American Indians had, the wise people who were in council. When you were in the elders were the council. These were the people that you counted on because they had the experience. They had seen it before, whatever it was. When you're in your 30s, you think you've seen it all. When you're a kid, you think grown-ups don't know anything. But we find out that we do as we get older. We do get smarter, and people do need counsel in that, and I think that's lost in a lot of ways because people are caught up in a lot of different things like politics and like working a business and a huge business. You know, I'm sure Kmart and Walmart love the retired people as cheap labor. And I think they should pay them 3 times as much as anybody else because they have the experience. And these are the people that know how to treat other people. They should by now. So I think our society forces us into situations all the time that add the stress to us. And now all of a sudden we feel a release, but now we're lost.
I'm not particularly proud of the way our society does treat elderly people in terms of it's complete opposite of what our Native American, like you said, of what the natives did.
We start this in school. We segregate the kids from other kids, from ourselves. We give them to strangers. We let the corporate America here just try to get them in a niche that they want them in, and that's not our niche.
There's a nursing, what do you call it, an ACLF, assisted living center here that has a daycare in with the seniors.
Probably
I think that is so cool. Isn't that cool? So, they're
maybe
working.
put the schools next to the, we need more interaction between the people who are growing older and the people that are younger and growing up. We need that connection. There's a lot of wisdom there. There's a lot of love involved in people caring for each other through the generations. I'm lucky enough to have great-grandchildren and may have great-great-grandchildren in maybe 15 years or so. Who knows? The thing is that I wish I was with them all the time.
Right. You could see them more.
And we have the society that splits us up, and it's normal. It's not normal, folks.
Yeah.
That's about it. We have our Primal Edge. That's not normal if you're not taking it. So please, please take the Primal Edge. I have a brand new health signals coming out. I just completed it last night, so it's all ready to go.
Yeah, we've got good stuff in there. We work all week to get stuff, news you can use so you can stay healthier. So we'll see you on the next show.
Yeah, and give us a contact if you have any ideas for us, and we always like to hear from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.